back to our channel. Before we get started, click that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, and give us a huge thumbs up.
Way to go, Becca.
Hello.
And there's Leela. And it's noisy up here with the traffic.
How do they rest in peace over here?
I don't know. Look at my poor Becca Boo. She has some kind of insect bite on her cheek, and it swole her whole face up.
It's under my eye.
Well, that's where your cheek is. Okay, we're sitting under this beautiful weeping willow.
Known as a willow tree.
That I love so much.
Wait,
and the reason why it looks like it's weeping because all the branches are down. Isn't it gorgeous?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, okay, I'm going to let you guys sit and have your drinks and everything. And I'm just going to...
you guys go for a snack.
You guys have your snacks while I do the video that
You wanted to do.
Yes, okay?
Okay, I'm hungry.
I have a bone to pick. And the woman I was talking to probably won't watch this or hear about it, but it really upset me. Now, I grew up in a very devout Catholic family. My grandparents were strict Catholics, and they believed in spirits. They believed that you could come back. We used to go for drives, Sunday drives, and find a nice cemetery, and it didn't matter if it was Catholic, Anglican, Baptist, or what it was. If it was nice, we'd stop and we'd look at the beautiful headstones, and we'd have picnics. And this is why I think I got into the paranormal stuff, was because my grandparents were pretty hip with it. Now, I'll never forget my grandmother on my dad's side had emphysema. She was really sick in the hospital, and it was just a matter of time. And I'll never forget one night we were sitting at the kitchen table having our supper, and all of a sudden my grandmother shivered from the top of her head right down, and she turned to my grandfather and she says, "Teen's gone." And my grandfather says, "How do you know?" And she says, "I just felt her. She just put her hands on my shoulder." And she said, "I know she's gone." Honest to God, people, 10 minutes later the phone rang, and it was my uncle telling my grandmother that my other grandmother had passed away. Freaky things like that happened a lot when I was growing up. So that's another reason why I think I just look at this as all normal. Now, I have a really good friend, and she is a true subscriber to our channel. She loves everything we do, and she wants to come out with us and do an investigation. And because she drives, we thought we'd take advantage of that and go someplace that Leela and I couldn't normally go to. So I decided, I went on Google, and I Googled haunted places in our area. The only place that came up was a Catholic church with a cemetery from the 1800s. And it spoke about how one of the priests still haunts the church, and that there's another tall man who will play the organ every once in a while. And the cemetery, like I said, is from the 1800s, which, like this one here is too. It's hard to find them that early here. Now, I turned around, and there was a phone number, and I called it. And somebody also, years ago, in the early 2000s, I think it was 2011, I'm not sure, they did a YouTube video of this church and cemetery. So I turned around and I called and explained. Well, did I ever get a mouthful from this lady? She told me stuff that I have never, ever heard of. She informed me that there was no such thing as a YouTube video. And that church was not haunted because there is no such thing as ghosts. And I said, well, I heard, and she says, do you have anybody buried there, family? And I said, well, I heard it was from the 1800s. And I said, I'm not originally from this area, so I don't think I do. And she informed me that no one is to ever go into a cemetery unless they have family buried there. And then you're to be extremely careful. You are to say prayers on the way in and on the way out, and you are not to disturb anything around the grave because you would disrupt the prayers that the priest had said over the gravesite at the funeral. And I'm thinking, that doesn't make sense. You're telling me that somebody who was buried 40 years ago, that if I stood here like this, I'm going to disrupt the prayers? And how many times has the lawnmower, we came in here, they were just finishing cutting the lawn. How many times has the lawnmower gone over them? They have to mow them in order, or the grass would be too tall. And I told her that we were extremely respectful when we came to a cemetery, and that we would even, a lot of times, we would bring garbage bags and we would pick up garbage and whatever. Well, she turned around and she says that they have caretakers who look after the cemeteries and they keep them in immaculate shape. So I told her that maybe she should look into that a little bit better. This cemetery that we're in right now, it's beautiful, and to me, it's sad. These people who are buried here are part of our history. These people were the first settlers to this area. They even have a plaque that explains how this was the first cemetery, and apparently it was the first church in this area. And the church proved to be too small and was replaced in 1872 by a larger one downtown, which is still there to this day. But my thing is if they look after this so well, then why do we have stones that are broken over there, the tops are off and they're laying on the ground? I can understand the ones that are in the ground. Like, look over here, we have a marker of some sort, but it's right by the bush. Now, does that mean that somebody is buried in there? That's all that's there, is that. And like, now somebody's come through and laid little flowers on some of these, which is so awesome. But like, it's sad because these are all in a row, and the only one you can read is this one, barely. But as you get further down here, see, these again are all in a row. And then there's the big one here. But see, some of them have fallen over, but they're still in their spot, so that you still know that somebody, see, this person is buried here. His stone just fell over. And there's another one over here, which is, okay, because we know that this is where he's buried. This is where I have a problem. After her telling me how well taken care of this place is, I told her, now they may have come and cleaned up. I'm not sure. It looks like it. But look at this. Here's a broken stone in the bush. Now the last time I was here, and here's one laying over on the ground in the bush. Somebody's come along and put flowers on these. And I wonder if that had something to do with what I said. This one's all busted. There's this one here. Somebody put a pin on here. Isn't that pretty? But, oh, they must have went in and cleaned it up. Because in there was a pile of broken tombstones. And it had people's names on it. And they were just tossed in here like garbage. And this is the property line, because there's the fence. And they were tossed over here in a pile. They've cleaned it up since. I told her. I said it was a disgrace. They were just thrown in there like garbage. And to me, that is just not right. That's so disrespectful. Like, how do you know where these people were buried? If, their stones were just thrown in here. See, here they are. Here they are. They brought them out. These were all piled up in the bush. And now they're all laying here. All broken, and they have names and dates on them. Look at them all. And I'm pretty sure there's still some in there. That looks like one right there. But, that's not right. They're way over here out of sight. Like, there's the cemetery. And then here they are. And then, I don't know if there's any more. There's wood piled up in there. But, yeah. Now here's another stone that's on the ground. Okay, they've cleaned it all up since I talked to her on the phone. But instead of tossing them back there like they did, why couldn't they have done this? Like, kept them where they were and just lean them up instead of tossing them away, which they did, because they brought those out of the bush. Another problem: when you enter the cemetery, you can't see this bench. And the first time that Leela and I came, we won't come at night anymore. The first time we came, and as you can see, there's a cap off a needle, a syringe back in there, LCBO bottles, lighters, probably dope bags, little baggies, all kinds of garbage. And there's another syringe cap. There's a bunch in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I count them. So you know what's happening on this bench. And that's sad. Because I wouldn't doubt if that's the reason why some of these stones are broken. Now see this here, we don't even know what this is from because that stone's together. But it upset me because she was dead set against us doing anything to do with the spiritual realm. She had absolutely no belief in spirits, that people come back, and or that sometimes maybe they can't find their way to the light and need help. Oh, here's the stone. Now see, I didn't even see this one the last time because this was so overgrown. Now look how beautiful that is. That is gorgeous. Beautiful. And it's sad to see it not taken care of, not maintained. These were the people who helped build our country. And to disregard them like this, I mean, I don't know what you can do about that, but at least it's here, right? Not in a pile of broken stones. So, anyway, so since that, like, I don't know if there's somebody else I could talk to about visiting the church. I mean, I was willing to make a donation to let us go and do an investigation there because somebody had done one years ago. But after the earful I got from her, and of course I didn't want to be disrespectful, I didn't want to ruin our chances of going to the cemetery we go to all the time. But see, there's somebody there. He was coming into the bench, but he saw us and turned around and left. That's what I mean. Well, anyway, see, there's a stone leaning up against the tree down here. I don't know, maybe I showed this one already. But it's kind of sad. And it makes you think, you know, today, I can't afford to die. I couldn't afford to have a funeral and everything like that. It's too expensive. But what happens to the people who can, who spend $20,000 for a funeral and burial plot, a beautiful headstone, and then, 50 years down the road, you come and you look, and it's like this. To me, that's pretty sad. Pretty sad. So, anyway, that was, I needed to get this off my chest. It was really bothering me. And I'm wondering if there's any other paranormal people, groups out there that have run into the same problem. I mean, it's not like we come in and we disrupt things or vandalize things. In fact, I think we're the most respectful group of people around. And I don't know, it really upsets me. So anyway, that was my rant. And if you enjoyed this, give me a big thumbs up. And if you want, we would be so happy to see you subscribe. We only need 10 more subs, and we're at 100. And that's our goal. So for now, this is Grandma, Donna, and I shall see you guys in the next video.